Saints Row is one of my favourite games. I've always loved the characters and the stories, but things kinda got off track when it came to the third installment. I believe it was a misstep in the series. However, I felt by the time we got to the fourth game, things could have been put back on track. Instead, we got superpowers. But the one saving grace the game had, and its selling point, a love letter to the old school fans. We were going back to the roots about the characters and the themes. Or so I thought. We will be entering a simulation and looking at the characters' worst nightmares. I was excited, and the truth was, I was mainly excited to see what would happen to the boss. So honestly, I was disappointed to see that they basically treated it as one massive joke, and I felt it was kind of a waste. The boss has suffered quite a bit in the storyline in the Saints Row story. He was there when Lynn drowned and sacrificed herself to save the player. He was responsible for the death of Carlos. He also carries the weight of Aisha's death with him. And lastly, Gat died for him. So when I found out we were going through the character's worst nightmares, I thought Volition would take this as an opportunity to expand upon the character of the boss and show how much these deaths have affected him. Of course, we didn't get this, and instead we gotta leave it to be the parody. Great. So, with the disappointed of how the boss's worst nightmare was treated, I decided to make a quick video describing what I would have liked to have seen. Now, I get that Saints Row 4 is a game that parodies other games, so if we're going to parody any game, why not Spec Ops The Line? Now, I know that Spec Ops came out in 2012 and Saints Row 4 in 2013, so I know in reality this would never have worked. Still, it's a bit of fun for me. Now, I must warn you, if you have not played Spec Ops The Line, there are going to be spoilers for what I'm about to talk about, and you really need to play Spec Ops The Line. So, if you've already played it or just don't care, let's get on with it. So, after the boss is taken by Zinyak and placed into his simulation, instead of waking up in Pleasantville, we are transported to a setting that is familiar yet distant. Saints Row HQ as seen as Saints Row the 3rd. As he walks towards the entrance, Zinyak's foot soldiers salute. The Sin surrender, Earth is yours. To which the boss would say, where is Zinyak? The reply, upstairs. Zinyak's voice echoes around the boss. Well done, Mr. President. You've done what no race has done before. Destroy the Zin. Now that this war is over, I want to ask you a question. What did you think when we first arrived? How did you feel once you had seen what I've done? Did you think it was the work of a madman? For a second, the boss doesn't answer. You're crazy for what you did to us. I assure you, I'm as sane as you are. As the boss reaches Zinyak, we see him with a human skull in his hand, perhaps reenacting Hamlet. What the hell is going on? Just think of what was lost, how many lives were thrown away, what was sacrificed because of you. You did this. No, you did. Your rampage killed how many people? What were their names? Do you even know their names? It's about time you paid for your crimes. Who are you going to throw under the bus this time? As Zinyak walks and disappears out of view, the boss follows him until he sees bodies decomposing. Jondi, Pierce, Gat, Kenzie, Oleg, Carlos and Lynn. A voice appears again, but instead of that of Zinyak, it's Julius. This isn't possible. How? Julius ignores the boss's question. You were never meant to survive the boat explosion. That's when I would have a flashback to the end of Saints Row 1. what's happened over the years, it was out of my control. Was it? None of this would have happened if you just stopped, but on you marched. And for what? You're no leader. Your talents lie elsewhere. Those who are dead? That's not my fault. You're stubborn. Can't see what's right in front of you. What you've done, sooner or later, it split you into two people. A side pushed down through years of therapy, drugs, and money. The truth is hard to hear, but it's time. You're all that's left of the original Saints. I'm counting to 5. Then, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Now, this is where things would divert from Spec Ops The Line. The player is given no choice but to wait for Julius to shoot them. So, when the boss does eventually get shot, they split into two people. The Saints Row 4 boss and the Saints Row 2 boss. I would do this as a perfect opportunity for Volition to address the idea of the boss becoming two different characters. So, suddenly the Saints Row 2 boss would attack our current boss. When this happens, I would set this up as some type of mini-boss. So when the fight starts, I would have our current boss to say, "We're the same person, ain't we on the same team?" To which the Saints Row 2 boss would reply, "No, you betrayed everything we were. Matt Miller, you let him live, I would have killed him." To which our current boss would reply, "Matt was 16, he was a kid. No idea what the hell he was doing. He was given power too soon. I wasn't about to kill a kid." Our Saints Row 2 boss would say, bitterly, "He killed Gat." Current boss would say, "He didn't." The Saints Row 2 boss would snap back with a quick-witted answer. "Viola did though." The current boss says nothing. So as this boss battle plays out, I would kind of show this as perfect opportunity to maybe show how much the boss is developed. So maybe even in sense of their combat. So clearly the Saints Row 4 boss is clearly better at combat than the Saints Row 2 boss, and I would take this fight as an opportunity to show that. Anyway, once the Saints Row 2 boss is eventually killed, the boss now, our current boss, comes face to face with a young adult. As he slowly approaches, he would try to get the young teen's attention, but suddenly I would have this young adult kind of burst into flames, and screams would fill the room as the young adult burns. I would try and write this in a way to try and imply that this would be the Saints Row 1 boss, and that idea of them burning, because as we all know, the Saints Row 1 boss player did, get blown up in a boat explosion. After this event happens, I would then switch to a first-person view where the boss would look at their hands and see they're covered in blood. So after the boss, kind of looks at his hands, I would then have this where Kenzie would cut in, and we would see the original dialogue happen. I would end this mission really lazily on some type of timer where the boss would fight all his allies past and current. So I would take this as a great opportunity to see characters again Johnny Gat, Troy, Benjamin King, Tobias, Richie, Carlo, Shondi, Jane, Kenzie, Oleg, Viola, Zemos, Jenny. I know Jenny really shouldn't be there, but I really love the chemistry she and the boss had in the Gangsters in Space DLC. Aisha, Matt Miller, and Lynn. So I know what I haven't suggested is really good, and I just want to point out I'm not a professional writer, but Volition had such a great opportunity to go down memory lane with the boss, and it's just such a shame we didn't get that. Do you guys like what I've suggested? Would you prefer to have seen something different, perhaps the boss's childhood, to kind of explain how the boss became the person they are today? Or are you perfectly okay with the original mission? These are just a few questions I have. If you want to answer them, do that in the comment section below, because I am actually really curious. Anyway, I'm Son of a Saint, and have a great day.